This is one of those mornings as I drink my Christmas blend that I'm super full of gratitude and sort of like shock and sort of like I cannot believe that this is our show today. Davante Adams coming off 100 and 101. 2 behind Mike Evans to move up even further. They're going to go back and forth at it over the next 3 games. We have Davante Adams coming off a win, off a historic performance on Sunday. We've got a Hall of Famer gracing us with his presence. Weapon X, Brian Dawkins, is stopping by to talk about his Eagles, to manifest and talk to that Lombardi trophy, to bring it back to Philadelphia, the win streak up to 10. What could possibly stop them? And we'll just revel in it. We're just going to swim. We're going to roast and baste, no idea, in the celebratory energy of it all. And we had a double shot of Monday Night Action to react to. Okay, Bears, let's do it. Woeful Bears. We're going to get to you, my pretty. Let's get into the Bears-Vikings of it all. Monday night doubleheader. We wrap up Week 15. Playoff implications abound. Not the most exciting game. Still some big takeaways that you need to know after what we saw. Let's do it here, shall we? Oh, boy. Welcome to the Up and Adams Show. I want to start with Kevin O'Connell and what he had to say to his team in the locker room. Let's set the tone.
All right, we continue to protect our home field. We will continue to fight to play as many games in this building as we possibly can. A lot of championship football out in front of this team, but we got to go earn it. All right, because I love watching you guys win football games. Make sure you guys enjoy this. Enjoy every second of this journey because it's special, and where we're going is special. Love you guys, man.
I love that after hearing the Dan Campbell radio call this morning. Full disclosure, kind of loses its luster. If you haven't heard, Dan Campbell was talking about filet versus molded bread and how they're going to eat this molded bread and run through a wall. I'm full of energy this morning, but the Vikings, we got to take a little. We got to take them more seriously. I think maybe they're not the Eagles and the Lions. Are they on par with Green Bay? Are they better than Green Bay? What do we make of them after this win? They have 12-plus games won for the second time in these 3 seasons under that coach right there. That coach that Kevin Durant said he'd like to play for. He thinks he'd be a great NBA coach. It's incredible considering the changes that this team has gone through. We got to give that a little love. Last night might not have been their sharpest performance. Obviously, like, hearts go out to Randy Moss. I love the Justin Jefferson celebratory moment. I loved all of the support, the on-swell-up support, Joe Buck included. That was fun for Randy Moss, the energy in that building. But there have been some changes on this team. That's all I kept thinking about is this is insane. And then you look at Aaron Jones being there, and what a huge addition. Like, that might be one of the most important decisions that they made. I mean, is it not? They jumped out to the early lead with the passing game, and then what do? You can do this. You have the leisure. You have the option to say, listen, veteran running back, let's let you ball out and let the defense do their thing. Aaron finished with 106 total yards. Gosh, he just continues to stick it to my Bears my entire life. 7th game with 100-plus yards this year. He's on track to put up over 1,500 yards. That's the most he's had in a season in 5 years. I bet Davante Adams, who's on the show, wants to give love to him this morning. And I want to make sure he gets his due for me this morning because he has been consistent. He has been sort of the equalizer, the stabilizing force there that the team can lean on when the passing game maybe is locked up, hemmed up, game script goes the way it goes. If you look at the NFC standings, Minnesota now tied with Philly and Detroit for the best record in the NFC. Does it feel like they belong here? Does it feel like they belong on this full screen? Are they in that, when you look at the food pyramid, are they sitting at the top there? There's still a wild card spot right now because the Lions, of course, hold the tiebreaker in the division, but the gap's closing, okay? When you look at the remaining schedule for these 3, Vikings have the toughest path with Seattle, Green Bay, then Detroit. That is tough, but that's good. That's good. It's good to be tough. That's why the Lions are the heavy favorite probably to win the division at minus 290. They're looking at that schedule over on FanDuel Sportsbook, those regulator and schedule makers and algorithm overlords. If the Vikings win out, though, they would take the North. So it is in their hands. We did some digging this morning. If Philly and Minnesota both win the final 3 games, there's a 96% chance Minnesota earns the #1 seed based on the strength of schedule tiebreaker. Isn't that crazy? That is one advantage, my friends, of having a tough slate down the stretch. They can work their way to the 1 seed. Can you imagine? I can imagine. I'd love to see it. If we go to Vegas now, let's move over to them. Jesse Bates, he was able to pick off Desmond Ritter's Hail Mary to snap Atlanta's 4-game skid. Beautiful. Can we see the touchdown? Beautiful. Do we have it? Beautiful touchdown to Drake London. Do we have it? Oh, I don't think we do. Oh, my God. Oh, gosh, look at this. Look at this right here. Just a beat. Where does the layout? Oh, enjoy. Just beautiful. I thought to myself, here it comes. Kirk's gonna snap himself out of the slump that he's in. I bet you thought that too. Weren't you watching it thinking, here we go. Yeah, okay, we got the division to play. Okay, playoff hopes alive. It's Kirk go, let's go. Didn't happen. Vikings are doing their thing again. He just lost to the Vikings. Now he's on the same night, prime time, bright lights, and he still can't make it happen. He had 61 yards. Woof, 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 woof. Over the final 3 quarters combined, okay? It took everything Bajan and the defense had to walk out of there with the win. Now, the interesting part, and we like to show Coach Sound and all of that, Raheem Morris, Coach Ra has been understandably adamant. Like, in his bag, I am sticking with Kirk. He is my starter, even though there's a bit of a rough patch going on. There's been no room for doors open, interpretation, weaseling, like giving himself the space to put in Michael Penix. Listen to what he said now about his rookie QB after the game.
We got everybody in our roster for a reason, right? We got so much to get better at, and like those things will always be discussed. That's just the nature of the beast in football. It's just so heavily talked about it at the quarterback position because there's only one guy out there, you know. So like for us, man, our mentality is to find a way to win the next game. That's just the mentality that we're gonna have.
This is the first time, Raw, as you're hearing, he didn't slam the door. He didn't say, oh, Kirk's my guy. That means something. I can't wait to hear from Brian Dawkins, a legend, Hall of Famer, on what would it be like if you threw Michael Penix out there? Is it a smart decision? Davante Adams as well. Is there a switch that's going to happen? And this is the first time I have felt, based off coach, based off this, that there's a chance. That win last night keeps the Falcons to within a game back of the Bucs. Tampa's still heavily favored to win the South at -360. Impressive dismantling of the Chargers on Sunday. Remember, though, if these two end up tied, the division goes to Atlanta. Tampa doesn't play another team with a winning record here down the stretch. The Falcons have a game against the Commanders sandwiched in between those games with the Giants and the Panthers. Winnable games. Falcons most likely need to win out here to have a legit shot. I don't know if Penix should be tasked with that, if it's the best move for him developmentally. I don't know. Why can't Kirk figure it out? Is it just Kirk? That's the thing. If you're Raw, is it Kirk or is it something else that's going on and you're going to put in this kid to fail? Like, what are we doing here? I love when rookie quarterbacks get to sit and develop. Mahomes, Rodgers, it's the best thing for them. What's the best thing for the Falcons? Because now you're in it. Now you're in it. Now you're stuck. Now you got, you know, if you lost, I'd say you see Penix and maybe get him comfortable and get him out there, or don't, that's fine. But now you're going to task this kid potentially with saving the day. Great if it works. Not how. What's the downside? Is it bad if it doesn't work for him? Like, I don't know. I don't know what Coach Raw's going to do. But Kirk, what's the problem? I'm going to ask Brian Dawkins about it. He's been the league's lowest rated passer. He leads the NFL's 9 interceptions, 9, over the last month and a half. Hopefully he figures it out. We've got, what a treat, on the Up and Adams Show. Hall of Famer and Brian Dawkins and future Hall of Famer Davante Adams. Davante's keeping our graphics department busy AF with all the graphics you have to make for all these records being broken. It is unbelievable. Victory Tuesday next. Love. Love, 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 love. Is everything okay back there? A lot of noise going on. Here? No, back there. Physically in studio. Okay. Oh, Derek. Hi. Okay, let me look at some of your Guys, we got, obviously, Raiders. If you have any questions for Brian Dawkins, let me know. Very excited to talk to him. Eagles Super Bowl bound, potentially. Let's see. Saints at Packers. Got that going on. I haven't even really feasted my eyes on this. Like Texans at Chiefs. Super interesting. Fun little note. I'm going to be at that game. I haven't gone to many games this season. I'm missing the Thursday night Broncos game here in LA. Is everything okay back there? What's going on? It's not the control room. I'm talking in studio. Like, there's a lot of happening. Are we good? Yeah. Okay. But what's going on back there with the tapes? We got tapes, gremlins. All fun, all good, all good, all good. Lions at Bears, tough. Titans at Colts. Steelers at Ravens is crazy. Pats at Bills. And then who does my buddy Davante Adams have this week? Oh, Rams. He had a great playoff game against the Rams, I remember. I'm sure he remembers. We'll get to that, guys. Did Tate and Rogers break the top 3 touchdown connection of all times? We're going to get to it. Why are you missing Peyton's Broncos? Because I have to go out of town, weirdly enough. Otherwise, I would be there. Broncos need to win one of the next 3 guys to make it into the playoffs. A lot of people saying they're one and done if they get in. It doesn't matter. I cannot wait to talk to former Bronco, though nobody remembers or talks about it enough. Brian Dawkins, of course, was a Bronco. I know you Broncos fans want to hear from him on that. Who on the current Eagles defense does he see that reminds him of himself? What if he says Cooper DeJean? You guys, what if he says, I don't know, is Quinyon Defensive Rookie of the Year? It looks like it. FanDuel Sportsbook says so. I don't know. I'm excited. Nobody on the Eagles is like Dawkins. I think you're right. I don't think anybody's ever been. Dawkins is one of one. He's never. I want to ask him about Donovan and Dio.
Motion from left to right. Goes Isaiah Davis. Rodgers back to throw. Well protected. Fires one up the seam through Adams. He's got him in stride at the 30, at the 20, 10, 5, spins, end zone, touchdown. That's a Jet touchdown.
Let's go! My next guest, a 3-time All-Pro, 6-time Pro Bowler, working his way up those charts. Davante Adams, how good is it to be you this week?
It's a lot better than other weeks, that's for sure.
Oh, I think if we've learned one, we're celebrating it when it happens, baby. You get the win, the Jets get the win, and I just need you to walk me through this because at some point, 20 years from now, when I still look like this and you're a Hall of Famer, we're going to look back and somebody's going to put this in like the doc, in the Hall of Fame thing of your 100th touchdown. Davante Adams, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, we pump faked on the play before this. We had a play that we felt really good about, and they actually did a good job defending it. So I thought I scored on that one, but then we got to come back the very next play and get the record in real Tay and A-Rod fashion. You know, just throwing a simple one-on-one fade and great ball placement, and got to pull it in, got my feet down, and there goes 100.
Did Aaron say, I'm coming right back to you?
He didn't say that, but just based off the call we had, I knew immediately that the ball was coming. And with where I was on the field, I had a pretty good feeling. You two
don't even have to talk. It's what we love about you. Where's the ball? Where's the ball right now?
That ball is getting taken care of. It's at the facility right now. So I gave it to them to wrap it up, make sure they keep it nice and good for me, and then I'm gonna get it back from them when it's time to go back home after the year. You got
the 100. You could have been like, cool. And then let's go. 101. Yeah. 101 happens.
Yeah. We had to get that one because we missed on a big one earlier in the game.
I know, it could have been 3.
Yeah, it could have been 4, depending on how that last catch of the game went. That one was kind of weird, but at the end of the day, it was good to finally get a dub, no matter how it had to happen, we got it done.
101 past Steve Largent, Don Hudson, and Tim Brown. You're working your way up. You're now in the top 10 all of time. Welcome. Congratulations. Yeah. What is this like?
It's crazy. It's even crazier sitting here looking at the list like this. I'm trying to stay up there with Mike, but I feel like every time he plays, he gets 2 touchdowns a game. So, but the rest of those guys, nobody else is playing. So if I can keep climbing, then we'll see where we end up. But yeah, it's a blessing though. I mean, these are all. I mean, everybody on this list is a Hall of Famer. So it's great company.
So this is what I'm watching the rest of the way, is you versus Mike Evans, who was like, okay, I'm going to have 2 touchdowns. So he's still 2 ahead of you. I feel like you can catch him.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's tough to keep up with Mike, man. He's one of the greats, and he is one of the most consistent football players ever. So he's not gonna make it easy on me. I know that. But yeah, I'm definitely coming for him.
What do you think it's like to get bumped off the list? Like, Tim Brown's there, a legend. He's watching TV, might be watching the game. All of a sudden, he's in, then he's out.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. I mean, Tim is my guy. I'm sure records are set in there. They're meant to be broken. So I'm sure he figured at some point it would happen. I was blessed enough in 22 to break his record for the single season, Raiders receiving record. So that was a big deal to me, and he's somebody that has showed nothing but love and a bunch of support to me since I've been in the league.
So this isn't something you guys text about? He doesn't hit you up? There's nothing like that?
No, we didn't talk about this one. We talked about when I got the record. I think he texted me actually before I got it, expecting me to get it that game. So when I got the single season record, he had hit me up. But this time I haven't heard from him. He may be mad at me for getting 2 of them. I don't know. We'll see.
I hope. I kind of wish you and Mike were bigger jerks, because you're like such lovely humans, and like on the field, off the field. I wish there was a little more like, I got it, I want it.
Why would you?
Because it'd be kind of fun. Because it just, I mean, you're 2 ultra competitive people, but I just wish there was a little like, a little talk ahead of this of what could be historic.
To be honest with you, if there's one receiver from my class that I feel like it's not even possible for me to talk down on or negative or hate on him at all, it's Mike Evans. I mean, he showed me nothing but love. I've seen his mic'd up from like the 2020 NFC Championship game when they came down and beat us in Green Bay. I saw him mic'd up on the sideline, like talking about one of my releases, when I scored and stuff. So just when guys show love like that, that's the way it's supposed to be. So I try to reciprocate that. Let's
get back to this game. You've had such meaningful wins in your life, big playoff wins, big whatever. It's a game against the Jags, but you haven't won since week 9. It has not been going your way. You are so honest about how that makes you feel. How big was this regular season measly game against the Jets or against the Jags? How important?
It was. I mean, we knew. I mean, we talked about it. Aaron spoke to us, the offense, before we started. We were in warm-ups. He said, "Look, man, we 3-10, and this freaking sucks. And it is what it is. We can either go out, like weenies, or we can, or we can pull it together and figure it out and find a way to make something of the remainder of this year." And I mean, every time we look around the huddle and we see who we have in there, it's kind of it's heartbreaking that this is the position that we're in. But I mean, it's still football to be played. So we playing for our pride. There's no tanking or no let's try to get a draft pick or any of that mindset. I'd never be that type of player. So if I was ever put in that type of situation, there's no way I could be a part of an organization that thinks that way. So for us, it's about getting out there and doing whatever we got to do. It's a little too late for the playoffs, but we still got a lot to prove to ourselves, and a lot of fun to still be had throughout the rest of this year. So we're trying to do that. Oh,
I love hearing Davante Adams talking about fun. There's nothing better. I'm sure it's a little complicated to celebrate a win with the record and what it is, but I hope you celebrate. If we learn anything from, listen, eventually if you're Tim Brown and you're getting kicked off that list, you got to celebrate things as they happen in real time. I bet your family was so happy for you. What was it like celebrating this win?
Well, I was pretty beat up after the game, feeling sore, so I didn't hit the town, but celebrated with my fam. We got home kind of late, so got to kick it with the girls a little bit, and then just relax with the fam and celebrated more of like enjoying the moment more than getting out and drinking and doing a bunch of that. The off season will be here soon enough. We'll be able to do any of that type of stuff. So we're good now.
What happened at half? Let's just, for anybody out there that maybe didn't, you didn't have a catch in the first half.
Yeah.
You had 9 for 198 in the second half. What the heck happened at half?
I don't know. I guess I had to get my head out of my ass first, and that helps when you do that. And then, I had a drop earlier in the first half, right before the half, and I got my hair pulled on the route. So when I pulled my head back, I couldn't really find the ball, and then, I think that was my second target or whatever.
Ooh.
And then once we got back in there and got a few grabs, stuff like this just starts to happen. So just need a few plays to kind of unlock it and get in that flow.
What's it like in there the week after, or like the days after a win? What is the energy? What does a win do for a Jets locker room right now?
I mean, we haven't had many of them, but a game like that, a hard-fought game, which is basically just like 80% of the games that I've been a part of since I've been here, real tough games that come down to the end. Those are the ones where you really find out what you're about, especially in moments like, neither team has much to play for, for lack of better words. So it means a lot. You can see the energy of the team. Guys are actually talking to each other on the plane on the way back. It's a much more energetic and happy vibe, which is obviously why we play this. It's why I play it, because I love the game. So winning helps you be happy in this game. And, especially when you able to have a big game, you can feel even better about it.
I mean, I think it was maybe the most dominant half of football I've ever seen from a wide receiver.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it was quite the contribution. I wish we could have done just anything in the first half, and then it would have been a really big game. But
well, I don't know. The weenies talk didn't have you running through a wall in the first half. Did he actually say weenies? Is that a direct quote?
No.
Okay.
I had to paraphrase a little bit.
Okay.
I'm not pulling out any quotes, but that was from me.
198, the most anyone's had in a second half since the year 2000. Let me throw some more numbers at you. Your 71-yard touchdown, as you know, in the second half, the longest of your career. Do you remember your longest touchdown before that?
Yeah, I think it was a 66-yarder against Seattle in 2016.
Let's see it. Week 14, you caught this from Aaron to start the scoring. You finished with a $104. What do you remember?
Yeah, I remember that. That was the third play of the game. We had a third down, and it actually wasn't even a double move. It was just a quick out, and then Aaron had his calf situation that year, so I think he got the rolling out a little bit. Saw me throw the hand up and threw a perfect ball. And, be able to get in there. It was good to get a long one. It's been a while since I had a long one. I think I had a 60-yarder with the Raiders, but other than that, it's been a while.
You got to keep these touchdowns going. I'm rooting for you the rest of this season. Of course, there's a lot of future to talk about, but I'm looking at you as a Packer in that against the Seahawks. That's the game we had last week. They beat the Seahawks. They're on a bit of a roll. They've scored 30-plus their last 4 games. You got Jacobs, you got Jordan Love. They're rolling. How do you feel about the Pack? There's this idea that they can make a run like they did last year. How do you feel about it?
I mean, they Super Bowl contenders for sure. I mean, the way they're playing, the way Jordan's played, and the way he's battled through adversity when he hasn't played great this year. You look at even some of the guys like Reed, who maybe been a little bit more quiet lately, and to be able to still win games without having guys playing their very best. I mean, that takes a good team. So. Once they get everything rolling, it's going to be tough for anybody to be able to mess with him heading into the playoffs. So it's exciting to watch.
Jordan Love, late season effect. What is that? What happens?
You get in the groove, man. You start to figure it out. Like I said before, he's like the coolest quarterback in the game. So, you can see that whenever he makes a mistake, he just doesn't look too rattled by it. It's kind of like he literally forgot about it. It's time to move on. And that's what you need out of a quarterback. And with that supporting cast, it makes it it's going to make it pretty easy on them.
Over the past few years, the Packers, I say this as somebody who watched my Bears last night to the Vikings, you lose all-timer, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, but the organization's still Super Bowl contender, still win. What does it say about the Packers?
I mean, it's winning organizations. You learn how to figure it out. I mean, they were good before I got there, and they'll be good long after I'm gone. So it says a lot about their ability to bring the right guys in, and obviously the discipline that it takes to win is tough. And not that it's been perfect every year, but to be able to be a really solid team over the course of, a decade or more. That's really tough to do. So I got a lot of respect for, the front office over there and obviously all the players that have contributed.
You're so loved there, and you're the perfect person to ask because I looked this morning. 2 of your best statistical seasons, and that's hard to do, 2 of your best are with LaFleur. If I look at the numbers, 18 touchdown year, which everybody knows, of course, back in 2020, that was with LaFleur. What's LaFleur's role in all of this?
LaFleur is the type of guy that he obviously learned from some guys that are really smart and have a system that works really well. And he does a good job of not just trying to make what he has fit a system that he wants to play, but, adapting to who you have. And when you know your personnel and you have a lot of good players that can do different things, obviously it puts defenses and just other teams in general on a bind. So I got a lot of respect for his ability to listen, honestly, because I don't know how much of that is going on there, but obviously having a guy like Aaron and a guy like me, who we have a lot of ideas, a lot of experiences, and preferences, and to be an open coach like that when you don't have to, you can come right in and put your foot down and say, I'm doing, we're doing things my way. But he didn't, and he listened, and I feel like that made us, much better than what we would have been had he just come in and just did it solely his way.
I'm trying to build the case for him to get votes for Coach of the Year that don't seem to be super popular this year, but with Malik and with the adversity, like, come on.
Yeah, no, he's definitely one of the ones that's worthy. I mean, there's a lot of good coaches, a lot of guys that have done some special things this year, but I mean, you look at the consistency. I know it's supposed to be just off that year, but I mean, it doesn't happen by accident. So,
Davante, people are going to say you miss him after all these nice words, and so I already.
We already know.
We already know. Here's what I need to know. I need to know. I walked into, we have like a 6 a.m. meeting, and I walk in and I go, all I want to know is how deep the conversations, how off between you and Aaron, how much drone talk is going on, and what is it like?
Look, we have our conversations. We try to focus and just lock in on the moment, because I find that you can't really do what you need to do if you're not, locked into what you miss out on too many opportunities and too many moments if you're not paying attention to where you're at currently. But we obviously have had there's been some chatters amongst one
another.
Tell
me, what does Aaron think the drones are? What is that, like, do you know more about drones than you ever wanted to?
Oh, you're talking about the actual
Yes,
drone?
I was like, I literally was like, what are you talking about being in the moment? The drones. I need to know about drone talk between the two of you.
Yeah. No, I don't. Honestly, I think they come in and pick him up and take him back home. I don't know for sure, but that'd be my guess.
Does he talk about them a lot? Come on, like a lot.
I haven't talked to Aaron about the drones.
Really?
When you just said talking to Aaron, I thought you were talking about like our plans moving forward together.
No, I just want to know how much this drone stuff is everywhere. I just figured he's in your ear nonstop. I could just picture you being like, dude, enough with the drones, enough with the conspiracy theories.
I know he's thinking a lot, but I just leave those thoughts. He can deal with that himself.
Wait, Enigma, I think premieres. Are you in Enigma?
I may or may not have a little cameo in there. We'll see. What's today? The 17th? Yeah, it is today. It is
today. 17. It all makes sense. In what capacity? Give me a little preview. I love Netflix. You love Netflix. What do we got?
I truly don't know how much I'm in it. I'm not quite sure. It's going to be a lot about Aaron Rodgers. I know it's not going to be the Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams, times Davante Adams documentary, but
if it's about Aaron, you and Aaron go hand. If I see you in the jungle somewhere where there aren't any Taco Bells doing some sort of ceremony, I'm gonna lose my actual mind.
You won't be seeing that. Don't worry about that.
Okay, so I'm watching the Bears game last night, and it's just uninspiring, and they're getting got by the Vikings. And I was looking at it, and like you and part of your legacy which is 14-2 against the Bears as I see here. I think it kind of takes away from your legacy when I'm watching this, because I'm like, the Bears. Like, is it that impressive with what these guys look like year in, year out? It doesn't really look that hard, Davante, to beat the Bears as much as you did. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, look, I can't talk about winning these days, so I'm not going to jump on there and say,
Yes, you can.
What I'll say is it's back in the day, being a Packer playing the Bears, we didn't go into that game ever like worrying about like, are we gonna win the game? Like we were thinking about how crazy we were gonna go in the game. Like, can I set a record? Can I score twice? Like it was like that type of feel. Not to be disrespectful, it's just naturally as a Packer, like you hate the Bears, and we have respect for every team we play, but you just don't respect them to the level of, they're a top tier team that could compete with us. So we went into it just ready to steamroll them and hopefully have the best game of the year. And, it's kind of just one of those things. Like the Packers are a winning organization and the Bears haven't. They've been kind of on the other side of that for a really long time. So, I got a lot of respect for you for showing the love to them as long as you have. But
I try. I'm pretty realistic about how I feel about them. Caleb, I feel a little sympathy for. I'm empathetic with his situation. He got the meme treatment last night. You're looking at this rookie quarterback, knowing what you know about facing the Bears, about being part of the Bears. What would you sort of say to him? Is there like something, I know you're saying I can't talk about winning. I respect what you're saying. It's super self-aware, but you are a Hall of Famer. You're a winner. So what would what do you think about Caleb? What would you say to him?
I'll tell him just to keep going. You can never apologize for working your hardest and doing everything you can to contribute. They try to look at me now and be like, oh yeah, of course he has 200 yards when it doesn't matter. Like, all this, like whatever, bro. At the end of the day, go do your thing. And, it's about starting as hot as possible. And obviously they lost maybe a couple early that could have changed the scope of the season. We all thought maybe it was going to be a different show in the first few weeks of the year, even with a loss or two here, just because he looks like he's going to be a hell of a talent in this league. So I got a lot of respect for him as a player. And, obviously I'm wishing nothing but the best for his development in the league as he moves forward.
I have such a crazy question for you. Would you ever play for the Bears?
No.
My whole control room just erupted in laughter. No, never. Just a hard no. You would never play for the Bears. Why?
Look, I'm not playing too much longer as it is. So on my last days in this league, after all I've been blessed with, I will not be going to Chicago. I will, like I said, I respect everyone I play, but I'm not playing for the Bears. No.
Love that. Before we let you go, Christmas plans, what are the girls into? What is Santa bringing them? What are they into?
Well, they got to continue to eat their dinner, because that's probably, I don't know how many people out there can sympathize with me, but I think the hardest part about being a parent and having toddlers, infants, whatever, is them eating their food. So right now we've been telling them that Santa's not going to be bringing all the stuff you want if you're not going to eat all your dinner, because every night it's a full-blown battle to get them to eat. So right now they're doing a little bit better because we use that as a threat. So if they continue to do a good job with that, Santa's going to bring them everything they want, just like every other year. My family sends 90,000 presents every single year, so we go and make sure we take care of them. But
you sound kind of grinchy there, Davante. Jeez.
I'm just, I am okay. You're right. You're right. And you know what? It's my fault because my birthday is Christmas Eve, so I'm always kind of grouchy around Christmas anyway, just because I feel like I've never gotten the love that everybody else gets at Christmas. So maybe that's what it is.
I want you to get the love in the end zone just a couple more times. Send the season off with a smile like that. Merry Christmas. I didn't realize I was such a sensitive child. Girls, eat your food. Eat your food at the Adams household.
Please, thank you.
Merry Christmas to you and your beautiful family. It is all looking up. It's all ahead of you. It's what we've known all along.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Kate.
Congrats on 100, 101, 102, 103, and the drones coming to get Aaron Rodgers. We've got Brian Dawkins, Hall of Famer. Hello, blessed people. Love that message on a Tuesday. Thanks. So fun. So fun. God, it's such a big deal to win. Such a difference. Love that. Okay, guys, what do you want to ask Brian Dawkins about? I had so many tweets and texts. Thank you guys so much. I want to see these about what I should ask legend Brian Dawkins. He might be able to hear me. I don't want to say hi yet. I want to. Oh, actually, can you guys slate me really quick? Possible.
Flying tackle by Brian Dawkins. Dawkins body slams. Oh, what a hit by Brian Dawkins.
Look at the clean hit by Brian Dawkins.
There he goes, Brian Dawkins, touchdown.
Joining us now on behalf of Boehringer Lilly's It Takes Two Health Initiative, Pro Football Hall of Famer, Brian Dawkins, I just miss you. I miss those highlights. There's just no one like you.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for having me, too. Thank you for having me, too.
Oh, my gosh. Great. Anytime, Hall of Famer. Are you kidding? The Eagles, everything. You're on top of the world right now. Listen, I was watching football this weekend. The Texans they had a fake punt against the Dolphins, which is great news for me because it gives me an excuse to show the fake punt that you took to the house. Okay? I'd like you to maybe talk me through it. I think we might have it. Please? There we go. Talk me through this, my friend.
Yes, so this is from my good man, Brian Mitchell, and it was because of Rashard Cook getting hurt that week in practice that I was actually the wing guy because I was the backup. And so I got a chance to get the touchdown that he probably would have gotten had he been healthy. So I thank Rashard over and over again. And I also thank B. Mitch for putting a little height on the ball because I was stumbling a little bit.
I love that you're giving credit to everybody else, but when I watch that, I'm looking at the reach behind you. To catch the ball is so stupid. It's insane. And then to look so smooth in the open field. Everybody wants to talk about the hits, the physical plays. Every time you got your hands on the ball, it was so special, Brian.
Well, I mean, so I played offense once upon a time, long time ago. Then I fell in love with defense. And so offense was no longer a good friend of mine. So I would try to punish everybody who played offense.
But Dawkins, why do you have to pick? That's the problem here. I'm watching Travis. I don't follow the college game, but what I understand, the Heisman winner, Travis Hunter, he's on defense. He's on offense. It all works. I feel like we regrettably did not let Brian Dawkins have the ball more or get in on offense. How do you feel about that?
Well, there's no way I was as talented as a receiver and carrier of the football as Hunter is, obviously. But again, it's in the little league part of my career, something happened that made me no longer like offense the way that I once did. And once I got on defense, I was going to always punish people on offense because of that experience.
I love that. Life is good for your Eagles. And it's nice to see the secondary getting its shine. They're the talk of the town. What impresses you most about those young DBs?
Well, number one is the aggressiveness of each one of them. All of the young guys that have been put in, and their willingness to go and stay aggressive throughout the game, right? And as far as, and I'm pretty sure you're talking about that Quiniana outside, as far as his island is concerned, his ability to do what he's doing at a young age, man, like that is not normal. That is not the normal that you see a young guy coming in. And I will tell you from what I see, and this is a message to him, like when he begins to find the football and pick it, it's going to take us to another level that they literally will not want to throw his side. When he begins to find the ball on a regular and be able to pick those, not just have PBUs, but have interceptions, they will not challenge his side. And then Cooper in the slot, right? His versatility, right? His versatility and, once again, his aggressiveness, right? But also, I love for a safety, a versatile guy to be able to make tackles in the open field. And so that is a premium, in my opinion, that you have to be able to make open field tackles and then be able to deliver the big hit. That's what I consider myself to be able to do on a regular basis. And you see him comfortable at a young age being able to do that particular thing, hitting people in the open field, but also bringing that stank when that stank is ready to be brought.
Which one reminds you of you more? I'm imagining it's Cooper.
I try not to do that. It sounds like to me like you're patting a little, like your little brother on the head. Yeah, this is my little brother. I try not to do that to guys. But again, I love the aggressiveness of not just those two guys, but the secondary. CJ is aggressive. He's hitting him, and he comes up and delivers that stank. Like I love seeing that. So that, to me, that's in the locker room. That's in the meeting room. When they watch film together, they're probably seeing who brings the hardest hit every week. And I love that competition. I love that type of competition.
I love that. You keep saying stank. Can you define stank for those who might not know?
Oh, excuse me. It's It's the long version of it is the unadulterated stank, right? That's what that's when I get to a tackle, that's what I'm trying to bring, that unadulterated stank to that person. So that's that power, that's that hit, that's that explosive, just elbow, whatever it is, I'm trying to just inflict a little pain when I get there.
I think you like them both. You don't want to pick. I love that everyone's working together in tandem, bringing the aggressiveness, and there's also being a good teammate. I need to get your thoughts. Quinyon, the first guy on the scene with this Darius Slay, this little scuffle brouhaha he had. You got to love to see this, Brian.
And that's just, so you have to have your teammates back when it's all said and done. Like that is, matter of fact, if we would watch film together to see who was first to be in the scene to help one another out.
Really?
Like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're watching film. You're watching that film, right? Because that's your family member. Like if someone's like, and obviously nobody's my kids, but the point is like you see a family member in trouble, like you run. Like there's no hesitation. Like you get over there as quickly as possible to make sure everything is all right.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing on the field, man. I'm not saying you get over there and you throw any blows, but yeah, you want to get over there as quickly as possible to make sure your teammate is cool.
What I love about it is I was watching it this morning and, the scuffle, whatever, but I just looked at, it's Darnell Washington that they're tangoing with, and he's 6'7". He's 264 pounds.
Don't matter.
No, I love it. So for a corner to get in there and say, nope, not today, I loved it.
It should not matter. It should not matter. That's not the size of the cat that you're going up against.
He's also, by the way, Quinyon, leader in Defensive Rookie of the Year odds right now, which I'm sure you are proud. I'm sure you're impressed. They're getting their due. I love that it is sort of the talk of the town. We have Hall of Famer Brian Dawkins saying they deserve it. You were impressed with their aggressiveness and all of that. How much credit does Vic Fangio deserve? And what has his impact really been? I know that you're very close to the team still.
Yeah, so one of the first things that I said when the new offensive coordinators, offense and defense, came onto the scene, I told everybody, you get ready for some growing pains because you will have growing pains. You have a new defensive coordinator. They're trying to find out the staff that they have, not the staff, but the players that they have in the locker room. And you do not find that person out until game day. It's on game day that you figure out who you have. And it's oftentimes in game day during losses that you really begin to figure out who you have in the building. Do you have guys with character or do you have a bunch of characters? There's completely different mindsets when it comes to that. So if you have guys with character, that's when iron sharpens iron and you get better. When you have a bunch of characters, now it's everybody else's fault, right? They're pointing everybody else. So when you then recognize that as a defensive coordinator that I have a bunch of cats with character, now I can have the accountability that I want to have. And that's what Vic, in the past, if you look at his defenses, they're aggressive. They take great angles to the ball, and it's usually more than one person around the ball making the tackle, and when the tackle is there to be made, right? So that tells me, and there's not a lot of blown assignments as well. So to me, that screams accountability, not just by Vic, but also to the coordinators, the linebacker coach, the secondary coach, D-line. So everybody's on the same page from Vic of how we're going to be a dominant defense, and they have turned into an absolute beauty of a dominant defense. And I love it.
A beauty of a dominant defense. I mean, the growing pains weren't crazy either. They're 2-2. They've rattled off 10 straight wins after that. Didn't take long. I like that Mitchell, after that, coming to the defense play for Darius Slay, he said, that's how I'm coached. We're coached to be great teammates to each other. I loved that. I love that you're giving love to Vic Fangio. So then I ask you, anything missing from this defense at all? Are they a 10 out of 10 A+?
No, so no matter what game you watch, even when you win a game, there's always things to improve if you're honest. If you're honest and you hold yourself to a high standard, then there's always, every game that I watch, no matter how many plays that I made, there's always one or two things, maybe three or four things that I believe I should have done differently, right, or done better. So there's certain things I need to work on to continue to grow. So you should never get to a point that you push cruise control. When I say cruise control, I'm thinking about neutral. And when you put not cruise control, but you push neutral. And if you're going uphill and you put the car in neutral, what are you going to do? Begin to roll back downhill. So you always want to get better. So there's always room for improvement. And to me, once again, in that locker room, in that meeting room, that is the standard to get better. How can I get better to help my team win or lose? And that's a great idea and great actions to be moving down the road with.
I mean, they're finding ways to generate pressure. They're not getting enough love for that. I mean, Brandon Graham, let's not pretend he was just some veteran not really pulling his weight around there. He's a dynamic, dominant force that is not out there, yet they're somehow adjusting. So it's Howie, it's Vic, it's the culture of this team. I'm loving it. I don't know what's going to stop them. People are picking at things, of course. We had the A.J. Brown, we had the Hurts, whatever. So Donovan McNabb says they should come out and talk about it like men. T.O. says, this is interesting coming from you. I thought everybody was friends now. What is this? What's going on? I thought we buried this hatchet long ago.
Man, I have no idea what's in those two cats' head. But as far as this team here, it seems that they have had those conversations. They've met. They've communicated, and whether it was calm conversation or a little bit of high-pitched conversation, still communication has been had. And you see the results from it this past weekend. Them going out, not just having success on the field, but them, coming together, doing dances together and all of those things. So it seems to me that they've had those conversations. So here's the thing. If and when that then happens again later on, you do the same formula, right? You go behind closed doors, you have tough conversations, and you make a compromise or whatever you need to do in order to go out the ball on the football field. And hopefully they won't need to do that. But again, if it's needed, you have the formula. The formula is in play because you've done it, you saw the results, and you can repeat it.
You used to talk to the football, and it manifested great results. I'd like you to look at, with that smile, Hall of Famer, look at this Lombardi trophy. And you talk to it, and you call it back to Philadelphia right now.
Man, now, first of all, I've had conversations with the trophy and it didn't listen. So when I was talking to the trophy was supposed to come home with the Philadelphia Eagles when I was playing, so they didn't listen. So I don't know if I'm the one. I don't know if I'm the one supposed to be talking to the trophy. Like the trophy don't listen to me. Like it listen to somebody. It don't listen to me. So maybe I should say, don't come to the Philadelphia Eagles, and maybe it'll come to the I don't know what to say to the trophy. I'm serious. I don't know what to say because again, 16 years and the trophy did not listen to me.
Does it feel like a team that can call that trophy home? It's happened before. You got close over and over and over again. Didn't quite happen. Is this team special? Is this the team?
So I always say it like this. Special does not happen. You make special happen, right? So special does not just happen. Special happens because you make it happen throughout the year on the journey, through the ups and downs, through the highs and the lows, through guys who are hurt, not being able to play anymore, and guys who the second string guy comes in and balls his behind off, right? So special happens, and there's a momentum that begins to build that you feel like you are one collective heartbeat, the way that I speak about it. And when you have that, when you develop that, usually that's developed in the second half of the season, but when you develop that one collective heartbeat, and then you're pushing into the playoffs, like that is that formula. And then you go on to field Sunday after Sunday, or Saturday, depends on when you play in the playoffs, and you make special happen again.
I love what you're saying. I will say you did win a ring as part of the front office, so I'm not going to listen to this like violin playing of like, you have a Super Bowl ring. You made a huge impact on a team. Let's just not forget about that. As an executive,
you are right.
Yes. You are here to talk about the Eagles. Maybe we'll hit a little Broncos here in a second, but you are part of the It Takes Two campaign. It's amazing. You've got a Rose Bowl parade on the way, and it's somehow involved.
Yeah, so I'm blessed to be a part of it, first of all. Beringer and Lily has allowed me to be a part of it. And so it hits home first for me. And so if you know anything about me of playing in the National Football League, like I've had to be someone that's been dedicated to my health, number one, but I also have been someone that's proactive, right? Not necessarily reactive. I want to be proactive as much as possible when it comes to my health, when it comes to play on the field, things I need to get better at, to do better, to make sure that if they see something on film that they're going to attack, that I've already improved in that area, right? So with that in mind is how I approach my life after the game. And so when I got this information that high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes puts you in a high percentage of having kidney disease, then that was something that I needed to have to talk to my parents about and their caregivers, because they both have it. They both have type 2 diabetes. And my mom no longer is battling with she no longer has a high blood pressure, but my pops is still up and down when it comes to that, right? And so they still fit into the demographic of potentially having and going down the path of having that. So this is not just for my household, though. Once I got that information from them, I told them about it. My pops has had the test. My mom has yet to have the test. But now I felt that to be a part of this, to now shout, let's scream from the mountaintops for those individuals who may have it. And the numbers are staggering. 35 million adults are living with kidney disease, and 90% don't know they have it. Right. And so that was tremendous, alarming to me. So if I can now use the platform that I've been blessed to have to now scream that and to shout that and have people to go to testyourkidneys.com for more information about it. And then they are proactive. They team up with their doctors. It takes two. It takes you and your doctor, but also 2 tests, a blood test and a urine test to see if you're in that demographic. Then you can get ahead of the game, right? And then you can stay here longer. And that's the plan. To stay here healthy longer. So
it's a preventative thing. Everybody go get tested, especially if you have some of those symptoms genetically in your family. And it's type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Great. I mean, as somebody who has dealt with kidney stones my entire life, I've been a part of both of those tests. It's easy. You pee, you get some blood taken, and you have to get ahead of it.
You said it.
I did. It's a thing.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know what stank has to do with it, but that's what you're for, unadulterated stank or whatever. But it's very important to do, everybody. So you're with your family. Maybe ask about the genetics. What do you have? You're at the table, you're opening presents, all of that, but go get it done. It's the It Takes Two campaign. Enjoy the Rose Bowl parade, which you're a part of. I'm going to keep you through the break because I have one question to ask you about the Broncos. We'll be right back, guys. I need to ask you about the Broncos.
Okay.
I mean, this is the team, Brian, you're a part of, but they had 5.5 wins going into the year. Everybody was taking the under. They're 1 win away from clinching a playoff spot. They're going to get in, likely. But everyone now is saying they're one and done. Based off what you've seen from Nick, from Sean, who you know, from the defense, are we sleeping on the Broncos?
For those of you who have not given them their props, yes. Now, their margin of error is smaller than some others. And I will say a lot of it will boil down to the young quarterback and not making mistakes. And that's usually the case when it comes to young quarterback. They're going to make mistakes. And sometimes the pressure of the environment of a playoff is completely different. And so that would be the thing that would really give me a tremendous pause as far as them going far in the playoff towards the Super Bowl run. But they have the defense. They've seemed to revive the running game and have a balanced offense. You do have a capable quarterback, more than capable of making things happen with his legs as well, not with his legs, but also his arm. And so they do have the ingredients to make a run for the Super Bowl. But again, for me, it's just that the new atmosphere. I don't care how much Sean tries to pour into him from the experiences that he's had. Obviously, he's a Super Bowl coach, winning coach. But the atmosphere that he's going to have to step into, because they're probably going to have to go on the road, right, to get to the Super Bowl. And that's a tough thing for a rookie to do. Not saying it's impossible, but it's extremely tough to do.
I mean, speaking of rookies, Jaden's going to have a tough time as a rookie up against this Eagles team in Week 16. Brian Dawkins, we appreciate your time so much. Stay blessed and Merry Christmas.
You too. God bless.
Thank you. Bye. Love talking to him. What a legend. I can't even hang. What a legend. What a legend. And yes, go check your kidneys out, people. It's a thing. Okay. Do we have anybody else tomorrow? Do we have... Oh, very fun. Guys, I think we have some fun guests coming. I'm trying to get one Chad Johnson on the program. No. How about this week? Week 16, do we even get into Penix or Kirk Cousins? No, but that's okay because we have a whole other hour tomorrow to do it with Rob Gronkowski. Big thanks to Brian Dawkins, Hall of Famer, Davante Adams, who's happy, living his best life. And I believe we have Jahmyr Gibbs on the show later this week, and I think I'm going to try to beg Kevin Durant to make fun of me again. See ya. We got 5, 4, 3, 2. See you tomorrow. Bye.